In today's video, I'm going to show you how you can recondition one of these valve stems for a bathroom faucet, as well as how to replace them. The reason why I'm going to show you how to recondition these is sometimes you'll have old plumbing, like this case it uses these special rubberized fiber cord washers, and nowadays you can only get a hold of these rubber ones that do not fit. They don't work. Now, I'm going to show you how to do this because otherwise you're going to have to open up the wall and replace everything with modern stuff. So I'm going to show you how to do it without having to do that. I'm also going to show you later on how to actually remove them. You're probably going to need a faucet handle puller because they tend to be corroded on pretty bad. If you cannot turn the water off, like it won't shut off, turn it all the way off, still drips through, chances are it's this seal here. You're going to need some of these special washers. I recommend the premium, not the black ones. Probably going to have to go to a plumbing store to get them. To measure, to figure out what size you need, and you just take and measure across the face of it. The thickness doesn't matter, but you do need the center hole the right size for the screw. I'm going to say that if you try to get a universal faucet handle for these really old plumbing, it may seem like it fits. May clamp onto the centerpiece here just fine, but the screw that holds onto the handle, that'll be a different size. I have really old plumbing, so that's why I have to recondition these. Can't buy anything for them anymore. If it's leaking out of the wall, like out of the assembling, chances are it's these seals here that run down the shaft here. In this case, it's missing the load spreading washer that is between the seal and this threaded portion here. These seals here is what keeps the water from leaving the assembly. You're going to need some faucet grease. Don't use regular grease. This is special silicone faucet grease because it doesn't dissolve in water and won't poison you. Some valve stem packing. I'm going to say you're probably going to have a hard time finding these. Mostly because like the trade name for the size is 00 for this 1/2 inch size. Confusing, right? So a plumbing store may be able to help you with that. You may have to bring in your whole faucet stem with the washer for them to get you the right size. First things first, turn off the water supply to the house. Something to plug the drain so you don't lose any screws. Take off this cover plate first. Retaining screw for the faucet handle. Don't lose this. Try not to mangle it. If it doesn't come off, try using an impact driver. Use an impact rated bit, otherwise you'll end up breaking off the tip inside the screw, and then the screw extractor won't work. Got the caulking around this piece. I'm going to show you how to recondition the valve when I put it back in. You can use a strap wrench if you have trouble. Spin it off. Special sockets for removing the stem. Remember which exact one I need. That's the one. Cheap screwdriver, cut the tip off. Give me some more leverage here. Probably should drain the pressure is in here. Counterclockwise, standard thread. Just be careful when you do it, just in case it's reverse thread. piece off. Now if this is stuck in here, sometimes you can do this. The handle, just gonna spin it out. Might be kind of tight, but you won't harm it. Just same direction as used to turn on the faucet, not off. This one I've already done once before for the packing, so it doesn't leak out of the valve. As you can tell by this white area here, which I'm going to show you how to repack this after. If it won't shut off or if it's screaming, it's this washer here at the very back of the unit. What I have to do is unscrew this little screw here. This washers I showed you earlier, that's where it goes. This one is pretty thoroughly destroyed. It's okay if this screw is a little corroded, just so long as you can tighten it back down. Don't even go too tight. Just make it snug. Now for the packing for this, normally put the packing between the washer and this brass piece here, this load spreading washer. But since it's already been applied once before, you're going to be putting it on the stem here, which will make it a little bit more difficult to reassemble, so you don't get it pinched in the wrong location. But gotta do what you gotta do. I usually do around 3 wraps this direction. Depending on how thick this washer is for the radius, it'll depend on how many layers. For this one, I usually do 2 layers. Sorry, I'm gonna do this off camera. It's hard to hold in front of the camera and do this. You may need a faucet stem puller, which also has a piece for a faucet handle. I usually snip this with a pair of diagonal head cutters. So try to rip it with your hands. It's too tough to work with your hands, and keep it nice and even. Before you put it on, when you're wrapping it nice and tight, I can crush this together a little bit. Now, all you need to do, screw it back in. Keep this from going anywhere. Working on the hot water stem now. This one I haven't removed before yet. And as you can see, I've already removed the screw on the cover, but the handle's stuck. That's what this guy comes in handy for. Put it down the center of the screw hole. Try to put the claws over the strongest part so you can salvage the handle. But if you have like 3 lobe one, you're not going to be able to on both claws, but try to get under at least one fully seated. I just tighten this down and it pulls it right off. Just as easy as that. Yeah, this one's a little tough. And I can't get that, so I'm gonna get the strap wrench. Cheap strap wrench, Walmart brand, nothing fancy. Kind of small for this wrench. slides right off.